Chapter 5-6. Man, Kintown is so fun to ride. I never knew that flying this felt so invigorating. Bulma pouted with jealousy at the airborne Goku as he did more somersaults while still keeping speed with her motorcycle. Soon the duo arrived at a little village that was too quiet for Bulma's liking. Hey, this is where the radar says the 5th Dragon Ball is, but I don't see any people. Bulma felt very uneasy in this apparent ghost town that she instinctually scooted closer to Goku. Well, let's knock. I can sense people, so maybe they have a good reason. Goku went up knocking on the door expecting silence. Knocking again just for pretense, he shouted. Hello, is anyone here? We are wandering travelers and came to this town for something. Why is everyone gone? He hoped the residents heard so he could reduce the misunderstanding. Alas, either the residents were too fearful of even strangers to be kind to them. It looks like it's locked. Seemingly ignoring Bulma's remark, Goku pries the door from its hinges while making sure the door stays intact. Just as he did, a shadow from the inside rushes towards him with an axe at hand. Noticing his assailant, Goku pushes the door between them as a makeshift shield. Hey, what's the big idea, old man? Goku exclaimed, pretending to be angry. There are 2 of you. You aren't Oolong. Who are you? This time it was Bulma's turn to be a little angry. Didn't you hear? He said we are travelers. We didn't do anything wrong and yet you attacked us for no reason. Explain yourself. Sorry young miss, but I thought you were Oolong. He is a terrible being that comes to our village to take away our young maidens. My daughter was next, so I thought you were Oolong coming to take her away. When the other villagers realized that the duo wasn't the terrible Oolong, they started crawling out of the woodworks everywhere in the village. You almost killed us, so you need to pay up. We are looking for these things called Dragon Balls. It looks like this. Have you seen something similar? Bulma was blowing the situation out of proportion since Goku wasn't going in any danger, but old habits die hard. After showing the orange ball, an old lady from the crowd came up claiming she has one as well. How about you give it to me? In exchange, I will forget that you people almost killed us and we get rid of this Oolong character. Bulma went in for the 1-2 punch, making the villagers feel like they owe Bulma even more for such a small compensation. After explaining Goku's fighting prowess, they planned to just have Goku hide and launch a sneak attack on the unsuspecting Oolong. Nate. Little lady. Little lady. I have come for you. Coming from the edge of town was a huge ogre-like creature with horns with the attire groom. These flowers are for you. Whoa. Where are you? At this point, Goku came from behind one of the buildings and leapt towards the monstrous being. Oolong yelped in surprise as Goku launched with all of his strength. Goku's fist landed right on his forehead as Oolong passed out instantly due to the impact. That was anticlimactic. The villagers witnessed the scene and started hugging each other while crying. Then, the huge monster turned into a puff of smoke. Underneath that smoke laid a pig wearing green military clothes with a red star on the cap. All the villagers exclaimed in surprise as all of them stared at Oolong with a dumbfounded expression. Bulma came from within the crowd with a bucket. Inside the bucket was ice-cold water as she poured it on Oolong. He woke up with a yelp and started squirming because of the water. He is literally a pig that is a pervert. I should have expecting something like this when they told us of your personality. Hey, look at me you pig. Oolong, already terrified of Goku's strength, almost passed out again when faced with the ferocious Bulma. The girls you kidnap are safe. Oolong meekly nodded. Alright, take us to them. Goku tied Oolong to a rope as Bulma received the Dragon Ball from the old lady. Oolong leaned closer to Goku. Your girlfriend is scary. She isn't my girlfriend. Goku had a straight face when he answered. On the other hand. I heard you pig. Bulma was red with either fury or embarrassment. Oolong paled and obediently led them to his abode. After arriving, the villagers burst through the doors expecting the worst for their daughters. Only to find that their daughters were having the time of their life relaxing. Everyone looked at Oolong with confusion while Goku looked at him with amusement. I wanted an obedient girl, please do take them back. So you are a beta male? Goku said to Oolong looking directly in his eyes. Hey, it's not true. These girls are just that scary. Hey, I am not judging. Leaving the villagers to berate the girls for worrying them, Bulma led Goku and Oolong to talk. Hey Oolong, you can shapeshift, right? How can you do that? Bulma looked at Oolong like he was a specimen ready to dissect. Understanding his position, he gulped before answering. I went to South Shapeshifting Preschool. It wasn't that hard, but since I didn't graduate, I can only shapeshift for 5 minutes. Do you think you can teach us? That skill seems very useful. Oolong was stuck between a rock and a hard place, namely Goku. On a boat towards their next destination, Oolong was teaching them how to shapeshift. Well, for starters, humans have it much harder to shapeshift to different things. That's why in my shapeshifting school, they mostly accepted humanoid animals instead. Oolong hoped that with this information, they would give up and let him leave. I have a tail, does that count? Oolong looked at Goku with exasperation. Of course it does, not you dimwit. Shapeshifting is a supreme art that not just anyone can do. It takes years to practice the magical nature of it. Bulma finally saw the chance to ask something that has been on her mind for a while. Hey Goku, I have been meaning to ask you. What's with that tail? It moves like it is a real tail, but it is a highly technical accessory, right? Goku smiled, nope. I was born with it. Eh? Bulma and Oolong gasped in surprise. They started discussing it, totally forgetting anything else as they ventured on to meet the desert bandit. I told you everything I know about transforming. It's not like I am very good at it, I can only transform for 5 minutes myself. Currently, Goku, Bulma, and Oolong were in the middle of traveling through the desert. Bulma was her signature bike with Oolong behind her as Goku was trying to shapeshift on the flying Nimbus. Goku had the foresight to keep the capsule case next to him by convincing Bulma that he will better protect it. I feel like the transformation technique has something to do with ki but is also entwined with magic. I have little ki control and no magical affinity, unlike Oolong who is a natural. My guess is that even though Oolong has no ki control, he relies on his magical prowess due to his species to transform, albeit not for very long. We should put the transformation training on hold for now. If Goku can't do it then I probably can't either. Bulma said as she had one hand on the wheel while the other was preventing Oolong from groping her. Hey, I see a cloud of smoke. I think someone is approaching. Goku from his elevated height could see Yamcha and Puar approaching them in their bike. Soon both parties stopped in their tracks. Yamcha was the first to speak up. Hey, you guys seem to be in the wrong place. This is my desert and I am the hyena who lurks it. If you fellas don't want to get killed so soon in your life, hand over your money and any capsules you have. Bulma was wearing a helmet along with the windshield made her figure unidentifiable while Oolong was cowardly hiding behind Bulma. Goku is the first to show any reaction. He smirks at Yamcha as he is the first real match he will have since his grandpa. Show me your moves. Goku gets off Kintown and beckons Yamcha with his fingers as he has a smug expression plastered on his face. I didn't really want to slice you up, kid, but it seems you don't know your place. Yamcha charged at Goku with an arrogant grin. He wields his swords and swings it horizontally where Goku is standing. Goku backs away, barely dodging the fatal blow as Yamcha confidently exploits the opening he is given. Just before he can swing again, he feels something wrap around his foot. He is abruptly pulled as his feet are airborne. He hits his head on the sandy ground, feeling a little dazed as he can see the sky. Before he can make sense of the situation, he finds a foot coming towards his head with lethal intent. He quickly rolls away from the axe kick and uses the momentum to spring up to his feet. What was that? Yamcha exclaimed, confused about how he tripped. Puar from the sidelines was having an argument with Oolong after he wanted to know the situation by disembarking the bike. However, he was still observing the battle intensely. Yamcha-sama. He has a tail. That's how tripped you. Yamcha looked closely at the small boy only to find that behind him, a tail was slowly waving back and forth in a hypnotic manner. Surprised, Yamcha tensed up a little more. It seems you aren't just a little kid. I shouldn't have let my guard down, but you will go down here nonetheless. What's your name, kid? Mine's Yamcha. Son Goku. Goku responds, getting into a defensive stance. Rushing towards Goku once again, this time Yamcha threw his blade at Goku. Goku easily dodges the sword as it lodged into the ground a few cms away from his tail. Yamcha, still rushing, used his ultimate technique on the young child. Wolf Fang Fist. A shadow of a wolf appeared behind Yamcha as he kicked Goku with his full force. Goku parried his move as Yamcha fists turned into claws that resembled a wolf. Yamcha hit Goku blow after blow with lightning fast claw attack only for Goku to either block or parry his advances. I am losing ground. How is this kid so strong? I can't even land a decent hit. Yamcha, done with his combo, unleashes the finishing move as both his fists come together for one last powerful hit. Goku, easily predicting his advance, sidesteps out of danger. Yamcha with no target to hit overextends a bit with his body. Goku uses the opening and punches him in the stomach while Yamcha doubles over from the impact. Quickly thinking through the pain, Yamcha grabs the sword that he threw behind Goku and does one last feeble swing towards Goku's head. Goku retracts his arm and ducks a bit as his hair is slightly grazed, making a few small strands to hit the floor. Goku, already crouching, spins quickly on his left foot and counters with a roundhouse kick with his right. Yamcha's sword in hand collides with his bike with bruises and bits of scratches from the rough treatment of the sand. Yamcha-sama. Are you all alright? We have to retreat, he is out of our league. Puar goes up to Yamcha and helps him get to his feet. We can't retreat. Our reputation in this desert will plummet if the other bandits find out I got beat up by a kid. Yamcha stood up with a steely determined gaze towards Goku. I suggest listening to the advice your friend there gave Desert Bandit. Goku is the strongest person I know, you won't be able to defeat him easily. Bulma finally gets off her bike and takes off her helmet. Her hair is flowing with the dry breeze as it emphasizes her beauty its peak. With her brown booty shorts, purple tank top, and leather jacket draping over her back because she didn't use the armholes. Her eyes land on Yamcha seemingly staring into his soul while her nose wrinkles cutely due to the sandy winds. Yamcha is frozen on the spot until he lifts up the bike from its side and runs away at his full pace. I will get you next time, Son Goku. Very soon, you can see Yamcha's fading back like he has seen the worst thing on the planet. Wait. Yamcha-sama. Don't leave me behind. Don't lose your cool, use your bike instead of carrying it. Wait. Puar turned into a bike himself as he sped towards Yamcha screaming his engines out. What a weird pair. What do you guys say to spending the night here? Oolong and Goku wake from their stupor and quickly agreeing to Bulma's request as they enter their newly materialized house. After eating a hearty meal, the gang started feeling a little sleepy and decided to turn in for the night. As Bulma was taking a shower, Oolong was having some doubts about this adventure. Why are you guys going on this adventure? We are all probably going die at Frypan Mountain because you lot are insane. We are going to collect a relic there, it's part of the set. I don't know if I should say more since Bulma is the one that is collect them. I am just here to help her while having fun and growing stronger. Unknown to Bulma and Oolong, Yamcha was sneaking around on the outside planning an attack. Bulma came out of the restroom with a pink nightgown and a towel wrapped around her hair. Hey, guys, I am going to turn in for the night. Oolong, you are sleeping on the couch, Goku, you sleep on the floor next to me. What? Why does this brat get to sleep next to you? To keep pervs like you away. Oolong scurries away with a blush on his face from being found out so easily. A couple of seconds later, Puar and Yamcha sneaked inside the house to find and steal the capsules and money as per usual for their banditry. As Puar and Yamcha came saw Bulma, a shadow with spiky hair was already awake next to her. Pervert. That night, you can hear the screams of Yamcha and Puar as they got the tar beat out of them. Bonus scene. Old Earth. We are here today to mourn the death of my son, Kris Lander. Kris's dad was on top of platform looking down on everyone as he talked. The crowd wasn't large, only family and friends were invited. If you have known the Landers for a long time, you would notice that this is one of the only times you can see the emotion on their faces. I thought that we were going to be the first to die due to age or the nature of our job. That's why I never wanted kids. It was too risky. Kris's mom lamented her son's death to her husband after he said his words. This time, a female with luscious blonde hair stepped onto the podium. Shifting slightly at all the looks she was given, she took a deep breath and began her speech. It has been a full month without Kris and I have been feeling his absence harder and harder every day. I haven't known him for too long, but I felt like I have known him my whole life. He was the best person that brought the best out of me in return. He was the spark of life in these dark times, especially when we don't know how much longer we have left to live. As Fane was wrapping up her speech, a bright light flashed in the distance. Everyone felt a shockwave course through them as chills crept up to their spines. Everyone was panicking while Fane was dazed, muttering to herself. At least you aren't here, suffer this, Kris. A single tear left her eye and ran through her cheek before landing on Kris's coffin. End bonus. In the distance, a flame reaching towards the heavens was erected along the dirt road. Are we really going to Frypan Mountain? It isn't too late to turn back. Looking at Goku's seemingly innocent smile that had a murderous intent underneath it, Oolong's subservient nature kicked in and quickly backed down. They shortly arrived at a town nearby the castle. The town was in ruins as people's skeletons are scattered about. Wow, you can feel the heat from here. Goku was currently looking at the mesmerizing sight of the dancing flames from the distance. Goku, can you go up to the castle and retrieve the Dragon Ball? Bulma was pointing at the lone castle that sat atop the roaring flames like a boat floating in an ocean. Yeah, right, I will be cooked like a lobster in a pot. We need another plan to get rid of the flames. Hey, you. From behind, a monster-like voice spoke from behind them. You can hear the rustic sound of metal screeching as Bulma and Oolong slowly turned their heads around like a machine that hasn't had oil applied in a long time. Soon, a giant of a man appeared with an axe in his hand, making him look more intimidated. He had a helmet that had devil horns jutted out on both ends, living true to his name as the Demon King. Bulma and Oolong ran and hid behind Goku, using him as a shield to the great evil. Where did you get that flying nimbus? Spit was practically flying everywhere as the Ox King questioned Goku right in his face. Kame Sennin gave it to me. Goku flatly stated as he wiped spit off his face. What? Do you know where he is now? Goku stared at him dumbfounded. He proceeded to wipe the spit off again. Yeah, he lives off the coast. As soon as Goku said that, the Ox King started laughing in happiness. He even wiped a tear off his eye because of how much he was laughing. Losing all hope, he did not stop the Ox King from this revelation as he let the spit accumulate on his face and hair. After trading his help for searching for Master Roshi and Shishi for the Dragon Bowl, Goku set off in his flying Nimbus. Goku found Shishi easily enough after dodging multiple lasers and an incredibly sharp boomerang for a minute straight. Goku managed to calm her down and explained the situation when they were flying to the Kame house on Kintown. How about trading the Bansho fan for letting me touch that young lady's boobs? Roshi was trying to convince Goku to take the deal as he thought it was a pretty fair trade. Actually, pretty unfair as saving a castle full of treasures was incomparable to preying on a 16-year-old girl as a 300-plus-year-old man. Goku suddenly had a mischievous idea and grinned inwardly, but his face betrayed his emotions as it was calm as a cucumber. Fine. She will even do more than that if you want. Roshi suddenly started to drool at the prospect of more. However, this deal is the Bansho fan for the groping, okay? Roshi nodded too fast, making Goku feel a little creep out. If we do not receive the fan, you still must take out the fire. Your former student house is in flames, you must have a conscience. Of course. I understand, let me look for the fan right away. I know I have. Roshi agreed quickly, thinking that some of his perverted families will come to life. However, his fantasies quickly shattered as he desperately started looking for the fan, uprooting the entire house in the process. Roshi was rapidly becoming hysteric, calling in the turtle for help, not realizing that turtle was not going to improve the situation anytime soon. Kame Sennin, don't you remember? You used it as a tablecloth that one time. Turtle was feeling extremely embarrassed and exasperated at Roshi's enthusiasm for getting that fan. No. Roshi fell onto his knees crying profusely. Roshi was feeling incredibly dejected, but he couldn't help but feel that he just got duped by Goku. But he couldn't have known that he didn't actually have the Bansho fan, right? Roshi doubted that assumption as Goku was calm as water talking to Shishi about random topics. Seeing Roshi's reaction, Goku quickly asked him while inwardly celebrating an easy win. Great esteemed Turtle Hermit, you do not have the Bansho fan. I did not expect this. How would we put out the flames now? Doubt began swelling inside Roshi after watching Goku's bad acting despite his calm appearance. Roshi charted it off as him trying to contain his excitement because there was no way that Goku could have known the future. Right? Roshi was crying inwardly as he called out for his magic carpet that recently came back from the dry cleaning of the fish spit and headed towards Frypan to put off the flames. Bulma and Goku were currently high-fiving and giggling at what Goku did to trick the famous Master Roshi as the object of humiliation are on top of a stone wall looking towards the giant flaming mountain. Goku this time was watching intently at the Master as he was about to fire off the famous Kamehameha wave. Goku, along with his key control exercises, tried multiple times to do a Kamehameha correctly in his practice but could never truly nail it. Understanding his knowledge of ki is extremely limited, Goku put all his attention towards the now buff Master Roshi. Came. Master Roshi held his arms wide towards the sky, summoning the ki from his body to his hands. He then slowly brought his outstretched claw hands together, chanting the verse. Haim. His arms slowly pulled back to behind him while still linking his hands. The at first yellow ki changed to blue so fast you would think that it would have started it in blue. The compressed ki was constantly getting fed with Roshi's ki as he was doing the movement, making the ball of energy more compact and explosive. Ha! Just as the ball of ki was going to explode like a grenade, Roshi thrust his arms forward, launching a blinding blue beam towards its unsuspecting target. Goku, the battle genius that the Scion is, was able to perceive all the changes and flow of ki, realizing all his mistakes that he has done in the past. Doing the motions of the turtle school, he mimicked the great master technique, correcting himself on the way. In the meantime, Bulma and Shishi were talking and quickly getting to know each other. You live in West City. I have never been to the city before. It must be really nice. Chi-Chi had stars in her eyes at the prospects of leaving the confines of her house. Really? You should come over to my house sometime. We can hang out and go shopping. To be honest, I don't have many girlfriends, but you seem to be really nice and easygoing. Besides, you can even ride Kintown, so I know you're going to be a great friend. Girlfriend? Like a girl that is a friend. I don't know, I have to ask my dad first. He is really protective of me. Goku finally revised his technique and launched his hands into motion while compressing the ki into a stable ball. He finally released it when he felt his ki reserves unable to keep up and the blue beam sped to the wall that Master Roshi was standing on earlier. Master Roshi and the Ox King were wide-eyed in shock at the display of the Kamehameha wave for Goku's first try. How did you do that? Ox King was teary-eyed because he never was able to learn the technique. I trained a lot when I was a kid with my grandpa Gohan. The duo's wide eyes suddenly stretched outward, leaving their eye sockets behind. After questioning the youth's heritage, Roshi posed him a question unhesitantly. Hey kid, you want to come to my island to train? You should know that I am the great turtle hermit. You can become as strong or even stronger than me. Goku was about to agree until he remembered Bulma's proposal when they first started their journey. Although he didn't say yes, it still felt wrong doing his own thing without giving her a reason. Goku excused himself and approached the girls as they were chatting away. She blushed a little, but Goku didn't notice because he was looking at Bulma. Hey Bulma, Master Roshi offered me to train under him. I was planning to go after our adventure, but I know that you wanted me to take that bodyguard job. Is it alright if I consider it after my training? Honestly, Bulma forgot all about the child labor that she asked of Goku because of the craziness of the adventure so far. Bulma was flattered that he told her and remembered what she said. Sure, after all, if you train then my bodyguard will be that much stronger. After her confirmation, Goku gave his confirmation to Master Roshi. After confirming that they got the Dragon Ball from Oolong with the rest of them. The duo left when Oolong wanted to go along with Roshi because of some shared interest. As his use was already expired, they left him and ventured off to the last Dragon Ball. Kris 13 years old. Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. A voice came out from the computer station on Kris's desk. Kris himself was watching on his chair with stars coming out of his eyes. He ran to the living room to see his parents as they were home for the weekend. Kris's parents laid there on the couch panting with sweat, other liquids littered the ground beneath them. Just as they were going to go another round, Kris interrupted them. Mom, Dad. I want to learn martial arts. They looked at him in surprise before looking back at each other. Kris has never been interested in something like sports, let alone the rough training of a martial artist. Well, what do you want to learn? His mom asked, looking at his face for a response. Kris, who ran down here without thinking or researching the topic further, was at a loss for words. Oh, karate. Kris's mom, being the elite spy that she is, quickly diffused the situation on the impulse of the male teenager when she spotted the look of loss in his eyes. His father, doing the same thing, spoke next. Son, if you don't even know what you want to learn, we can't help you. Maybe when you are older and have more confidence in yourself you can do martial arts. If you still think this way later and have researched the hardships of it as well, we will consider it. Kris, dejected, walked back to his room as his parents quickly went back to lovemaking as if nothing had interrupted them. He walked back to his computer to search up different martial art styles. Clicking video after video, recommendation after recommendation, he was soon lost in the void of the martial arts world. Even forgetting that he wanted to actually learn martial arts.